WTOL 11 breaking news now.
Right now, our focus is on finding those responsible for this violence.
There are still no arrests in Saturday's mass shooting near the Old West End Festival.
There is a role for parents, and I do think part of the conversation that has taken place is a need for more accountability from parents.
And now leaders are calling for action in hopes of making sure this doesn't keep happening in our city.
I fear our future. I fear the future that we're providing our kids.
Thank you for joining us here on WTOL 11 News at 4. I'm Tim Miller.
And I'm Melissa Andrews. You heard right there several city leaders today speaking out as the search continues for the two young men who opened fire at the Old West End Festival over the weekend.
As we've been reporting, 12 people were hurt, and we did find out today 9 of those victims have been released from the hospital. And after a search at a central Toledo home yesterday, Toledo police recovered 2 guns they believe are related to the festival shooting, one of those guns coming from that home.
We also learned DNA and clothing were also taken from that home as part of the investigation. That search happened after an anonymous tip regarding an 18-year-old person of interest. That person was questioned by police and later released. And we did find out within that search warrant, Tim, that the shooting actually did start at the beer garden at the festival.
So right in the middle of those festivities as they were happening. We want to get to our Megan Hartnett now, who was at that press conference this morning with more on where the investigation stands right now. Megan?
Tim, Melissa, like you both said, Toledo police told us that they are looking for 2 men between the ages of 18 and 24 that they believe were involved in the shooting. Police Chief Mike Trenley says that they have brought in multiple people for questioning, but all of them have been released and no arrests have been made. They are still asking for more information from the public, whether that's photos, videos, or any tips. The chief says police believe the incident was a dispute between 2 rival groups and a physical altercation that escalated to gunfire. He says 2 firearms have been recovered that are believed to be connected, and one of those was recovered during a search at a house in central Toledo yesterday. Chief Trenley says in his opinion, he does not think any additional staffing would have changed Saturday's outcome. He says the festival is a large area to cover, and officers are only one way to maintain safety at a public event.
The number of officers that we backfilled from the shifts to be there, we had an adequate number of officers at this event to try to maintain safety at the event. Unfortunately, there are incidents that happen rapidly, and unfortunately, we are not clairvoyant. We can't predict when it's going to happen, so we try to intervene when we see something, but a lot of times we're left trying to apprehend and prevent further damage.
Chief Trenley says of the victims, he believes 3 of them were shot in standards. He says of the 3 people who are also still in the hospital, none of them are in critical condition. Reporting in downtown Toledo, Megan Hartnett, WTOL 11.
I'm sorry for that audio problem. I just want to let you know exactly what Megan said so you didn't miss it. The chief said he believes 3 of the victims were intentionally targeted and the rest, so that's 9 other people, were bystanders. He says the victims who are still in the hospital are expected to recover. Now, people living in the Old West End are trying to come to terms with this.
Yeah, we heard many thoughts about that at today's news conference. We heard from City Councilman Nick Comives, who lives in the Old West End. He didn't see the shooting Saturday night, but heard gunshots and saw people running towards him. He said the neighborhood's sense of safety was shattered. We also heard from the leader of the Old West End Association.
We are grateful for the City of Toledo, City Council, Lucas County Sheriff's Department, Toledo Police Department, and Toledo Fire and Rescue for their swift response and continued support. While we reject violence, we remain committed to the healing, supporting one another, and moving forward.
And listen to this, there are plans to resume the Old West End Festival that saw the Sunday session canceled this past weekend. Mayor Wade Kapsakavich said that could happen in late summer or early September.
Well, as the search continues for the shooters, safety for the future events coming up within the rest of the summer remain at the top of mind.
Yeah, today we are hearing from the chief of the White House Police Department ahead of one of our area's next big festivals. The chief says there will be a significant law enforcement presence throughout the event, with officers patrolling festival grounds, surrounding neighborhoods, parking areas, and other high traffic areas. This is for the Cherry Fest, which kicks off Thursday evening.
Also, Metro Parks Toledo leaders are promising their most extensive security plan yet for this week's Watershed Weekend. This is a 4-day festival at Glass City Metro Park. It kicks off Thursday with activities still planned for both sides of the Maumee River.
And that includes a free music event called Toledo. Organizers tell us they had already planned to amp up security for this year's Techno Music Festival, including bag checks, metal detector wands, and a single secure entrance point.
If you would have asked me this question 1 week ago, I would have told you we're possibly over-prepared. Now it seems quite appropriate, and then we've still added a little bit more on top of that. So this is an all-hands-on-deck thing.
Toledo is an 18 and older event that is after the Old West End shooting. You do see kids there, though. There will be an activities area for children, but they do need to be accompanied by an adult. Be sure to stay with WTOL 11 on air and online for updates on this developing story. Tim, one of the things that I know our night reporters are going to be looking into is some of the language that was used in that news conference. The police chief specifically said 2 groups.
Rival
People are
groups.
asking, are we talking gangs? So we are specifically going to take that question to Toledo City Council members tonight, and we will pass along that information for you. You can also find extended stories and interviews right now on WTOL.com.
Plus, the full news conference from this morning is streaming right now on WTOL 11 Plus. You can hear from all the city leaders and folks who spoke out. You can download for your TV and watch for free.